What must I study to get a job in a just transition?
Are there enough jobs in the energy sector?
Welcome to Energy Careers, a segment of the Energy Conversations podcast dedicated to exploring opportunities in the dynamic world of the energy sector. For 13 years, I've had the privilege of navigating this sector, and it has significantly shaped my professional and entrepreneurial journey. Join me as we uncover exciting pathways for those interested in making their mark in this exciting sector. Let's dive in. Please share your energy journey. How did you get involved in the energy sector? What did you study and what has been your career path to this point?
If I answered that question with a short sentence, I started in the energy sector by default. So, my background is finance, and I found a job. So I've worked in industry before, and then joined Eskom. And I have to say, once I got to Eskom, my career kind of took a life of its own. I got very involved in the technical part of Eskom, and I think curiosity and wanting to be involved and maybe poking my nose in things that I sometimes shouldn't have has got me where I landed up. But it was a fantastic journey, and I never intended as a young career professional to spend such a long time in one sector. I always had this plan to work across different sectors, and at some point in time I reflected on why have I been here for such a long time. And the answer to that question is that the energy sector is an exciting place to be. In the time I've been here, I can't ever say that it's been boring and consistent and, same outcomes and things like that. I think the problems are different. The challenges are different. The fact that it has become such a cog in economy, it has become such a cog in livelihoods. It's a key contributor to every single aspect of life, of business, of society, is what makes it interesting. And the problems change all the time. The technology advancement has been so prolific in the sector, although I still feel that in some aspects, perhaps, things like digitization, etc., haven't been embraced as aggressively in the energy sector as it has in other sectors. And I still think that if you have to examine the broader footprint of the energy sector, there's so much more, so many more exciting things to do. So I'm here because it's exciting. I've always found challenges in it. I've always found different things to do. And at the end of the day, it's also a very rewarding place to be. When you do good work in the energy sector, you can immediately see the benefits of it. And it's a good sense for yourself to know that you can be part of something bigger, better, and brighter. So, that's kind of my part in the sector.
Thank you very much. And what would be your advice to a young person considering taking part in the energy sector or standing on the outside and thinking, how do I get in? What would be your advice?
So I think my personal advice is there's a lot to do in the energy sector. And it's also one of the sectors where I think that there's a great allowance for adaptability of skills. So you start off as an electrical engineer, and you can end up being the head of logistics in some environments. So, and that really comes, you can only progress in that way and take up those opportunities from yourself. So if you're prepared to put up the work, if you're prepared to be open-minded, resilient, go with what is emerging around you, but equally well produce the goods. I think those kind of rewards do come. So it is a fairly agile sector in terms of skills. It's a good sector in terms of opportunities, and one finds that where you start is not necessarily where you end. But my personal advice is your thirst to learn and your ability to deliver on your actions and being authentic about the commitments you make is really what produces a successful career. And that's not just for energy. In my mind, that's for anywhere.
Thank you very much for that valuable advice. Dr. Mathetsa, what has been your energy journey? How did you get involved in the sector? What did you study? And what has been your career path up until now?
Just a brief introduction about myself. I'm Stephen Mathetsa. I'm currently employed here at the WB as a senior lecturer in the African Energy Leadership Center. I've got over 18 years experience in the field of sustainable development, environmental management, climate change, water and energy resources, and all these opportunities I've acquired while I was working as a junior and senior and research scientist at various state-owned entities and the private companies such as SAPI, Pulp and Paper, Anglo American Coal, um, Department of Water Affairs and Forestry, and Transnet National Ports Authorities. I started my career at the Department of Water Affairs as a graduate trainee. Well, obviously here my main focus and interest were mainly in the water resource management space, where policy development and implementation were key. Water quality and water quality utilization were also some of my areas of interest. I moved to the pulp and paper industry and the mine industry, where despite my main focus being on industrial and mine water management, I also focus on broader sustainable environmental management aspects such as waste management, air quality, and environmental management systems, among others. It was when I joined ESCOM Generation and maneuvered across various departments that made me interested in understanding the energy sector as a whole. In this case, it became interesting to me when I was a senior researcher. I had to investigate how water, energy, and food resources are interlinked and competing under the discourse of climate change. In this manner, I became more interested in understanding how the supply of these resources can be sustained through a formulation of integrated policies and systems thinking approaches. And in the process, I've managed to develop, working with my colleagues, develop some of the few models that can be able to assist various stakeholders in order to try and ensure that they eliminate or they mitigate the competitiveness of these resources, energy, water, and food production. This eventually became my PhD topic, which was undertaken here at Wits University. That was in 2020. And the study in its own gave me a lot of insight in the energy sector and its role in addressing socio-economic issues across the globe and in developing countries, most importantly, the Southern African region. This helped me broaden my knowledge and scope within the energy sector, and a postgraduate diploma in the energy leadership, which I did here at Wits University, enhanced my understanding and interest in the energy sector. This course gave me a lot of insight in the energy value chains and how they play a crucial role in the socio-economic development of communities. It looked basically at understanding the energy sector from the utilities management point of view, policy development within the energy sector, electricity sector pricing, the geopolitics, sustainable development, financial aspect, and the role of leadership and ethics in the sector, how important the role of ethics and leadership is in the sector. However, it's in the ever-changing energy landscape that prompted me to give a go at playing a role in closing the knowledge gap and promoting sustainable energy management through knowledge sharing, teaching, and research here at Africa Energy Leadership Center, which is currently my role. In terms of careers in the energy sector, I think the sector is very broad. Remember that the sector doesn't only comprise of electricity generation and distribution. There is also the petrochemical sector, oil and gas aspect of energy as well, which shows that the sector is quite broad to provide sufficient opportunities for upcoming generation, especially in the technical, in the governance and leadership point of view, and the policy development as well. And it being the sector that touches our lives on a daily basis, the opportunities come from various angles in the entire value chain of the sector, starting with the mining and production of raw materials such as coal and uranium, into the generation sector, into the distribution sector, and across various industries whereby, in terms of the energy landscape, some of the industries are moving into generating their own electricity or energy systems. So it's very important that upcoming generations also take this in mind to say you can directly or indirectly be employed into the sector. And I'm of the view that as the sector continue to move towards energy transition, which is basically addition of new energy pathways, this will provide more and diverse opportunities in their careers and job markets of the youth in the country. But it's also important for one to be out there and consider that there are a lot of opportunities. You have to go out there, seek those opportunities, and seize the opportunities that might be available to themselves.
Thank you for tuning into Energy Careers, where we explore the endless possibilities in the energy sector. Don't miss out on future episodes where we'll feature more inspiring journeys and insights on how to embark on your own energy career path. Subscribe now to the Energy Conversations podcast and unlock the door to exciting opportunities in the dynamic world of energy. Your journey begins here.